Hello drinkers, welcome back to the Bugout Bunker kitchen and making yourself very, very ill with food. If you were watching the last episode, you will know that we tried to get AI to come up with a recipe for randomly selected ingredients that were in the Bugout Bunker kitchen. And what it came up with was I've still got the recipe in here, I'll read you its exact description, hearty, gin-infused spam and corned beef casserole, which was actually more like a shepherd's pie and was disgusting. So, can I do better than AI? Which is more intelligent, me, the human being, or AI, the computer? And which is the better cook? Because, of course, eating is one of the most important things we do. I'm going to use the same ingredients. They are spam, corned beef, Branston pickle, instant mashed potato, French's burger mustard, and then cans of tomato soup, cream of chicken soup, standard baked beans, and spaghetti hoops in tomato sauce. And the first thing I'm going to do is make some potato fritters using the smash, but instead of just using water to make up the mixture, I'm going to use water and chicken soup and a tiny little bit of the mustard. I'll make more mash than that. Because I think this will enliven this stuff, which is a bit dull, really. We've got some hot water in the kettle already. I've still got half a tin of chicken soup, so if I add the water to that, that will make it a bit thinner. And then I can use that to mix up the smash potato mix, and then we'll use that to make some fritters. Once we've made some fritters, we'll start thinking about what we might have with them or even on them. Now, you will remember, I'm sure, because you were watching the previous video, and if you weren't, why weren't you? But what AI tends to do is take all the ingredients, add some slightly florid words, but then basically chuck them all in a big bowl and chuck that in the oven. That's not really very clever. We're going to come up with actually several things, but that can be eaten together. Hopefully this will be a little bit of a tapas type experience. This already smells much better than it did last time because it's chickeny. I'm going to make chicken potato fritters in effect. It's actually got some little pieces of chicken in there in this chicken soup. It's not a broth, it's an actual chicken soup. Look at this. This is looking quite good. That looks about the right consistency, I think, to make me a couple of fritters. The other thing I need to do is prepare the spam and the corned beef, which haven't been chopped up yet. So I think I'll do that whilst you look at some archive footage of the Hindenburg disaster. Right, we've done a bit of prep, which is basically chopping up the spam and the corned beef. And I'm going to use roughly 2/3 of these to make some meatballs and the other third to make a topping for one of my fritters. So to begin with, I'm going to put some spam in that mixing bowl, about that much, and about that much of the corned beef. And then, now this is a radical idea that we've just had, and we don't know if it's going to work, but because there's no binder for any of that, so we haven't got an egg or anything, you know, that would make it stick together, we're going to mix into that meatball mixture some of the smashed granules. And somebody's saying no.
Put the meat into a more pasty thing, so you can roll the meatballs, and then use the smash as the flour for the outside to help it fry off, rather than binding it. But I see you want to use it to bind it.
Well,
no, that might be a better
well.
idea. No, you might be right.
Now, viewers, there's an expression in the English language that I can't remember, but I want you to tell me if you can remember it in the comments. It's something like, it's too many something. I can't remember how it goes, but if you can remember, let me know. Right, so, I mean, if this doesn't work, we've got another tin of spam in the cupboard. There's a little bit of smash. Let's see what happens if I now try to keep that out of the way. That's going to be my topping, my other topping. This, just using a straightforward standard fork. I wonder if in the proper TV chef way I should give this to someone else to do whilst I carry on with the potato fritters. Okay, get that as much like a sort of meatball mixture as you can. I will start with some potato fritters,
Can I just say, Lucy was right. The Spam does not mix.
No, it's pretty rigid stuff, Spam, but you know, stick at it. In with the chickeny potato fritter mix, I'm going to add a bit of French's mustard, because you would put mustard in mashed potato. I think that's perfectly legit. Not too much. And I'm also going to put in a very tiny splash of James Gin American mustard. That also improves the colour. Oh yes, as usual, the gin is coming through because gin is very potent. Right, let's make some fritters, then we can put those in the oven to stay warm while we concentrate on what goes on around them. Gezunder ready, wooden spoon ready. I can probably pre-form these on the chopping board. Let's have a go, that looks like about the right amount. Does that look like a convincing little potato pancake frittery type thing? Yes? Okay, let's do a few of those. Thicker?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's just going to come apart in the pan otherwise.
No, it won't. Okay, I'll make that one slightly thicker. You may be right. I should explain who Will is. I'm not really sure. He's been following me around for about 15 years now, basically making suggestions when I'm trying to do something. In his spare time, he runs a TV production company. Oh yeah, this is working already. Excellent. Right, other things that we're going to make include something that requires this little bowl, some tomato soup, a bit of hot water, probably about as much again, a bit more, about that. Tiny little dribble of the mustard, and from the Branston pickle jar, if possible, just some of the juice, not the lumps. Just get pickled juice. I don't think you need very much of that because it's pretty flavoursome stuff. So this is the equivalent. What I'm actually going to make here is a sort of Bloody Mary on the side for this feast. And it's going to... What on earth is that? Oh no, that's okay. Let's do that with the fairly generous bit more actually. Dollop of James Gin. So we've got some little shot glasses, and this is going to be, it's still slightly warm, but it will cool down. Missed. Oh God. Anyway, that's going to be a little, you know how posh restaurants you sometimes get something on the side of the plate in a little Thank you. So you can pour that over your potato. What? Look, it doesn't matter. It's a working kitchen. Look, it's good already. In off. Yes, I'll have the meatball mixture back now, please. Oh yes, that's excellent. Look, so Will has mashed that up. It does look as if it might stay together. It might. If we handle it very carefully in the pan, we could be onto something. Right, I'm going to just need to do those for a little bit longer, and then they can go in the oven and stay warm whilst we do all the other things. Right, meatballs. I think it may be possible to use the wooden spoon, which has a nice shape to it, to scoop out a bit of meat, and then they feel like they've got integrity, those. I might try making a few slightly smaller to see if that makes a difference to the way they cook. So let's make a sort of a mini meatball like the sort that you would get in a can of meatballs, which would be about that big, wouldn't it? Agreed?
Yeah.
It's a little meatball. Is that enough, do you think? Let's just have a quick look at the fritters. Okay, got those. Right, they're going in the oven. After I've done the meatballs, I'm going to do a fairly standard spam and beans mix to go on one of the fritters, and that's going to have in it the Branston pickle, because we don't have an onion, which is how you'd usually start with cooking something like spam and beans. You dice up an onion and fry it until it goes clear and soft. So many recipes begin like that. We don't have an onion, but there are, of course, onions and other exciting things in Branston pickle. So if I put a dollop of that in the pan, that will do the job, or at least to some extent do the job that an onion would do. And that will greatly improve the flavour of the spam, because it's pretty bland without the onion, to be honest. Okay, let's try a couple of meatballs gently coated in the smash mixture. So the three nearest the camera, to begin with at any rate, are the ones with the smash on it, and the others are just plain meatballs. That was easy, that bit. Right, we can pause for a bit. Right, that's the meatballs done. I'm going to transfer them to the oven with the potato fritters. The complication, well, not complication, but the small problem is that we've only got one ring and one oven, and these meatballs are very delicate. But I'm going to effectively transfer them to the warming oven, and I'm then going to make my spam and beans mix to go on one of the fritters, and then we're going to finish off by making the pasta on which the meatballs are going to go, some of the meatballs. Beautiful. Thank you very much. So that's a spoonful of Branston pickle with the juice washed off, so that we just have the nearest thing we have in here to some chopped onions. That can go straight in the pan. Oh, that's already looking quite promising. Let that cook for, I don't know, half a minute or so, and then the spam and corned beef mixture will go in, and some beans. So this is the topping for one of the potato, what are they called? Fritters. So this is basically a spam and beans mix of a sort that I've made many times over the years. So you'll have one potato fritter with this mixture on, two spare to have with a little tomato sauce and a meatball if you want. And then the remaining three meatballs are going in the pasta with meatballs thing, which we're going to make using the hoops. This mixture is also going to have a few baked beans in it, but not all of them. That's the distinction between me and the AI. I understand the trendy word, I know, nuances of this, whereas AI says, oh, there's a can of beans, put the can of beans in. We're just using a bit of the can of beans. And remember, beans still in the can, even when they're open, will keep for quite a long time in the fridge, especially if you put a little foil or plastic cap on them. Don't feel you have to live your life in instalments of tins of baked beans. Think of them as beans. So we've used all our ingredients. We've used the mustard, we've used the chicken soup. The only thing that hasn't been used yet is the beans, and they're about to go in. We will have used everything that AI used, and something else as well. Discretion. So the other thing we thought that we could add to this is getting very sophisticated is, and we don't know if this is possible, we haven't looked it up, we just thought of it, a baked bean hummus with gin, of course. So I'm going to give Will the tin of beans. So you're going to have to separate some beans. We only need a couple of teaspoons full. And yes, use the gin, and you will need a fork. Right, that mixture is done. It's going to go in here whilst it goes in the oven to stay warm. This is going to be a fantastic repast. Tell me you don't want that. Do you want that, Lucy Brown?
No.
It was just hopeless. Okay, staying in there to stay warm. On goes the pasta, which is just some pasta. Right, I think I am just about ready to serve, so we'll make a bit of space in the interest of presentation. That can go down there for the moment. Here we go. That can go off. We have, a plate warmed up, ready for our spaghetti with meatballs. We have a plate of potato fritters with the meatballs to be served variously. And we have down here the, wait for it, the spam and beans topping mix. Woo, that is hot. Spam and beans topping mix. Will's naked bean and gin hummus. Nobody has tried yet. It's very exciting. We're going to serve some spaghetti. It's actually spaghetti hoops, but it is still technically spaghetti. Whilst that sits on there, I'm just going to very quickly warm a bit of the tomato sauce in there. It's actually tomato soup. And then we're going to do a little bit of arrangement. So let's have meatballs with the spaghetti. That one fell apart slightly. Yeah. Then 2 fritters with meatball. 1 fritter topped with my special yow tinned meat and bean mixture, thusly, and finally, using that little bit of gently warmed up tomato juice, I just put a little drizzle around those fritters, like that, and a tiny bit on the top of each meatball. There we go. It is served. Who would like to come and try that? Oh, and you've got the little Bloody Mary accompaniment, palate cleanser. Excellent.
I thought I got out of trying this.
No. So, Lucy, there's another couple of fritters doing there to try Will's homemade naked bean and gin hummus. You have meatballs with pasta, a classic Italian dish. You have some meatballs on potato fritters, my spam corned beef and bean mix with onion on fritters, and you have your accompanying shot of Bloody James May Mary, made with gin and tomato and a few spicy things and pepper. Actually, we'll put a little bit of pepper on there as well because it's Italian and they would do that. We might as well put a bit on there while we're at it because there you go. Right.
Okay. I think
Yes?
I'll go for this first because it looks the least offensive to me because I like spaghetti hoops. But look, I've got a big mouthful. Smoking.
Come on.
It's not bad.
Better than the pie?
Way better than the pie.
Okay.
That's because you can mainly taste the spaghetti hoops though.
So to most people, we will appear to be eating some camping food. Spaghetti hoops with some homemade meatballs. Actually, this is a seminal moment in the development of civilization and humanity's lot, because we, as humans, are fighting the machine, the robot, the AI, the thing that terrifies us all. A new threat. I mean, it's only emerged recently. And I'd say we're winning.
I'd agree. Okay, I'm going for the next one.
I'm trying to sort of you.
Yeah, I'm going to go in order. I'm going to go for the... What is this? Pork and beans.
That's effectively my spam and beans mix, also with some... oh, look at those. Those are going to be had with Will's homemade bean thing.
I'm
So that's
surprised by the smash turning out so good.
Yeah, me too. I thought it would stay the same colour and come out like a piece of cardboard, but it's actually okay. Bit of oil has helped it. What do you think of that?
The smash is dense.
Better than the pie?
Yes. It's not bad actually, considering it's got spam in. It's actually quite good. Okay, I'm going. Make sure I get a bit of tomato sauce. So you got two thumbs up so far.
I'm going to try this.
I don't like that as much.
Well, it's the same.
I think this meatball's got more spam in than corned beef.
I have the James Bloody May Mary, so that's made with the thinned out tomato soup, James gin, American mustard, some black pepper, some juice from the Branston pickle, and a tiny bit of mustard, which I'm not sure mixed entirely with the tomato soup, but you know, it won't harm you. It smells excellent, wouldn't you say?
I wouldn't use the word excellent.
It's fantastic. It tastes like a Bloody Mary, but a little bit more, in a weird way, orangey. Come on. Drink it.
I've had 2 sips.
You haven't. You've hardly touched it.
I don't like Branston pickle. I don't like gin. I don't like mustard.
You're a young person. You're preloading.
Not a fan of that, but so far the rest has been pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
I think the drink is excellent. I mean, it tastes like a... If anything, I watered the tomato soup down a bit too much, but it tastes essentially like a Bloody Mary, but with gin and a bit of mustard in it. Like, you put a bit of black pepper in, I got that about right. These fritters are now ready, so if I take them out, you can be the first person in the world to try Will Dawes's homemade, naked, baked bean and gin sort of hummus.
Yay.
Go on, I want you to be the first person ever.
I am worried about it.
It's baked beans with the sauce removed and gin added.
I'm only really worried
Put
about
it
it
in your
because I've
face.
seen the location where it was prepared. The disgusting sink in the corner of the...
It's not disgusting. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm going to do it in an elegant fashion. Well, hang on, don't say anything. I'll have some first and then we'll... I'm not going to look at your face because I can read that far too easily. Here we go. Offer. Do you know what it tastes like? Mashed up baked beans with gin in it.
I don't know how, but the baked beans is the exact same texture as the smash.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's the exact same. It
Can
doesn't
I just
work.
make a suggestion?
What?
I didn't come up with this great idea to have it ruined by putting
Well-
a sort of cardboard smash fritter.
Okay,
Can we
I'll-
just try a little bit on a teaspoon
Okay.
to enjoy the delicacy?
What really amazes me is that you can't triumph over baked beans. Whatever you do with them, they just taste like baked beans. It just tastes of beans.
I can't taste the gin.
I can taste the gin a bit, but the gin is only politely knocking on the door of baked beans and saying, do you mind awfully if I come in for 5 minutes? That is beans.
Do you not think
It's
it's
terrific.
got a hint of Weetabix aftertaste to it?
No,
Oh,
I think it tastes of beans. That is. See, we used to do a thing in the olden days. Me and Lucy, we used to do a thing called Food Tribe, and there was a series called Pimp My Beans, where you could do things like add spices to beans. You could add. What else did we do with beans? We tried
Spam and beans. The,
Yeah,
the
spam.
best one was poaching an egg.
Yeah, poaching
in
an egg in
beans.
beans. And what it actually proved is that beans cannot be pimped. They are actually perfect as they are because they are beans and they are indomitable. They triumph over everything. Whatever you put beans with just tastes of beans. So, bean hummus, if you like the taste of beans, highly recommended. Otherwise, just have a can of beans. The smashed potato fritters made with chicken soup, actually, obviously not as good as if you made them with real potatoes, but if all you've got is a packet of the powdered stuff, they're not bad. They're perfectly edible. The spam and beans mix we know works because that was recorded at the Battle of Agincourt. We've added a bit of corned beef to it, and instead of using an onion, we've used the onions from the pickle, separated. That works. The meatballs, remarkably, despite not having a binder in them like egg, stay together, and they do work, don't they? They're quite tasty, the meatballs, even to someone who doesn't like
Spam.
everything that's in this kitchen. And it's that versus, well, we haven't got it anymore because we've discarded it, but a slop pie that AI came up with, which is just everything You know, AI treated that in the way Richard Hammond treats a buffet. He has a little bit of absolutely everything. That's what AI did with the ingredients. It says, oh, there's a can of beans in this Bugout Bunker kitchen, so I'll put the whole can of beans in. I'll put the whole tin of chicken soup in. I'll put the whole can of spam in. Just put it in, put it in the oven. Rubbish. This is food.
Call to actions?
Nope. Shush.
Can I go now?
Yes. No, you've got to help me clear up.